Hello, everyone. Okay, go. Yeah. All right. Thanks, everyone, for coming to this workshop. Is it a little? Can everyone hear me? Okay. Okay. All right. All right. All right. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Um, I'm Corey Cooper. I lead the DevRel team at Circle, and today I'll be giving you all an overview of our developer platform and how we have built tools and smart contract utility to make the transaction experience with USDC very seamless for you all as developers in the room who want to build use cases that leverage my stablecoin technology. So I'll start off with our mission. It's pretty simple, but it's really bold. And it's to raise global economic prosperity through the frictionless exchange of value. And how we do this is by building open infrastructure to accelerate value transfer around the globe, starting with USDC. USDC is the world's largest regulated stablecoin. So I would like to say that again. USDC is the largest regulated stablecoin. And regulation has allowed us to grow our stablecoin infrastructure exponentially. It's the reason why 600 million plus users have access to USDC to do transaction experiences. But this couldn't have been done without people like you in this room, which are developers. That is attributed to the accessibility of USDC from a utility perspective to end users. So we really appreciate you all taking the time to come to this hackathon and build with our tools and other tools as well to design new transaction experiences on stablecoin infrastructure. Just last month, we hit a record high of being able to be a part of settling $2.4 trillion worth of payment volume on chain. So that, again, couldn't have been done without developers. We build the infrastructure, we make sure it's regulated and safe, and you all as developers bring that creative insight to design experiences, and it's working because we see a lot of money moving on chain for transactions. And the last number here is this 93% year-over-year growth of USDC liquidity coming into the ecosystem that developers have the ability to design experiences around, puts us, at the top of the list of outpacing our competitors who are global stablecoin issuers. So we really appreciate the support of the infrastructure. Here's an overview of our developer platform and everything we offer, but I kind of want to ascend into the developer services area on the far right. And so, for the tools that we're offering here at ETH Global, we offer wallet infrastructure. So it's very easy for developers to access an API or an SDK to embed wallets in their app. We also offer a smart contract platform, so developers have the ability to deploy new primitives on chain and interact with those primitives through our dev tooling. So it makes it easy to operate, manage your smart contracts, design webhook notifications around them, and build smart contract logic and integrate it into your applications in a very easy way. Our Paymaster is another product. Obviously, we understand there are like some friction points in transacting as you're onboarding end users. And so we've deployed Paymasters on various different blockchains to make it easy for developers to build experiences for their end users to actually pay for gas fees from their USDC balance, giving end users experience that is comparable to TradFi. As it pertains to fees and transacting. And last but not least, our cross-chain transfer protocol, which we call CCTP. And so this enables, in this multi-chain world, for developers to build cross-chain transaction experiences. And it uses a different methodology than most bridges, and that is burn and mint. So You have the ability to call a smart contract set and actually pass parameters that will burn USDC out of the source chain, and then it will mint USDC on the destination chain and to the destination address that you pass in your parameters. So these are the tools that we're offering for developers to build with at the hackathon, and we encourage you all to play around with them because they're very powerful tools to build experiences with stablecoins. I'll start with a deep dive into our wallet so you understand the type of wallets we offer. So we offer 3 different types of wallets. We call the first one Dev Control, and that mainly is the developer controls the keys to that wallet and basically can embed these wallets in an app, and end user can interface with those wallets, but they don't actually control the signing experience. And so in the Dev Control wallet pillar, there's 2 different type of wallet accounts that you can create: EOAs, smart contract accounts, and it's very good for embedding wallets in fintech applications and delivering a very seamless experience to someone who's really doesn't know much about crypto. They're just trying to leverage the rails to be able to move money really quickly, and so you can easily spin up these dev control wallets, append them to user accounts for your end users, and they will never know that they're actually using a wallet on chain, and you can design experiences with USDC in these applications. Our user control wallets offer more sovereignty over the asset, so the actual end user controls the keys to that wallet. These are MPC power wallets, by the way, and so those are for scenarios where developers are building experiences. They want to make sure they're not listed as the custodian of funds and things like that. So it gives them more protection around like designing a wallet experience where they're not actually in the crosshairs of being looked at as a custodian because they control the keys to the assets in the wallet. And so the last one on the far right is our modular wallets. And so these are really good wallets that you can embed in applications and enable an experience where they can authenticate and sign transactions with those wallets using passkey and store that passkey in the secure enclave of their device. So that's another wallet type for if you want to make sure like you're designing an experience where you're not listed as a custodian of funds on the platform. The user control and modular wallets are really good wallet types for those use cases. Under the hood of all our wallets, we have like gas station to enable like sponsoring of network fees, where you can spin up a Paymaster really quickly, and it can handle the sponsor of gas fees for those wallets across multiple different blockchain networks. Also supports Solana and non-EVM chains as well, so fee payers can be spun up, and so it makes gas abstraction very easy for a developer. They don't have to worry about managing that at all. Then we offer a really good dashboard to manage and monitor your actual wallet activity. You also can manage the logs, be able to troubleshoot logs as well as design very good notification experiences by spinning up webhook notifications to design experiences where you're tracking the transaction state. You want to deliver and render that experience to the end user. But last but not least, our compliance engine. So enabling experiences where you can do checks on the recipient wallet or external wallets that are being transacted with to do a compliance check to make sure those wallets aren't on sanction list. And so it can protect your end users from transacting with wallets that have been compromised. And so we do that through partnerships that we have with different companies that are doing on-chain forensic analysis work to source and have a list of wallets that we know that are compromised and protect the end users. And so you can tap into that functionality via our APIs. And like I mentioned before, like the gas station, performs gas abstraction through enabling developers to spin up a paymaster or a fee payer within the platform and design basically policies around how much gas they want to sponsor per transaction per day, for gas abstraction experiences for the end user. CCTP v2 is our newest version of CCTP. So what it enables for developers is in v2 we have what we call a fast transfer mode. And so in v1 there was only one mode for you to send USDC across chain, and it was beholden to our blockchain confirmation thresholds, which took about if you were going from like Ethereum to Base, it would take about 18 minutes for us to kind of get to a place where that transaction was considered confirmed and complete, and then you would get an attestation of a signature that you could take and sign a message on the destination side to mint USDC to the wallet address. And so because that 18-minute time duration is kind of long, it limited the type of experiences developers could build. And so in v2 we decided to speed that up, and we brought that 18 minutes down to around 30 seconds. And how we do that is we have basically an insurance fund and enable the minting on the destination side. Developers have access to liquidity that they can kind of mint before the finality happens. They can tap into basically a pool of liquidity that we give access to, and we have basically a threshold that you can use over a duration of time, week over week, and you are able to actually mint USDC on the destination side really quickly when you're going through CCTP, and design different experiences that are more like payouts or payments or funding. And so since it's less than a minute, you can do different types of payment experiences with our CCTP protocol for cross-chain transactions. V2 is something that we also have packaged hooks into. So if you want to add like post-transfer logic inside these transactions, you can design these type of experiences. So you can imagine if you wanted to go from USDC on Solana to USDC on Base, but then swap into a token of your choice, you can enter that information into our hooks parameter value, and it can design that automated logic on the destination side. Once USDC hits, it performs a swap. So you can do really cool stuff with hooking together a lot of transaction logic into our V2 protocol with hooks. And so how CCTP works at its core is you call basically a deposit for burn on the token messenger contract on the source chain. It initiates that burn, and then you call our API, Iris attestation service. So it's a public API endpoint. It observes whether or not that burn activity has happened, and once it has, then it enables you to get access to a signature that you can take to the destination chain and sign that to mint USDC on the destination side. So it's a 3-step process. And so some of the use cases, we've seen some interesting stuff. There's exchanges that use CCTP for treasury rebalancing, and so they do that because they're trying to kind of manage the liquidity across multiple different chains, and they have algorithms that can forecast like how much liquidity they may need to have on any given chain at any given moment based on the demand of users wanting to get USDC paid out from their wallet on the exchange. And so CCTP is like more capital efficient as well for cross-chain swapping, because when you're moving this liquidity across chain, you're moving it in a stable asset, which is USDC. So USDC is like that conduit, so makes it more efficient for those cross-chain experiences. And then like since we speeded it up with V2, like you can do cross-chain purchases. So someone could get to a site, they may have their USDC on, Linea, but they want to make a payment on a platform that is using, that may be settling their transactions on Base. And so those cross-chain purchasing experiences can be done with V2 because of the speed. And also to like cross-chain trading, you may want to take a position in a trade and you're doing it across chain. CCTP V2 enables those type of experiences to be designed, and a lot of it, is really at its bare bones. It's like you're using a stable coin to be the conduit of moving liquidity across chain. So that's the beauty of the efficiency that a stablecoin like USDC provides. And so our Paymaster, like I mentioned before, it's an on-chain utility, permissionless, and so people can design experiences now where end users can pay for gas fees from their USDC balance. And so you can think of someone who's building maybe like a peer-to-peer payment app that runs only on stablecoins, and they want to design an experience that abstracts away a lot of the friction points of blockchain transaction experiences for newbie end users. And so with Circle Paymaster, developers can design these experiences where gas fees are paid by the end user from their USDC balance. One of the beauties of our Paymaster is obviously it's ran by Circle, operated by us, so we have deep liquidity to handle, that transaction swapping mechanism of being able to have enough native tokens on each chain where we have our Paymaster on to handle, the gas fees that need to be paid as you're swapping between USDC to the native token and the Paymaster to cover gas fees. So that gives, a developer kind of some insurance that, like if I'm doing millions of transactions a day, I know this Paymaster can handle, this transaction volume that's coming through and routed through these user ops that are routed through this Paymaster, because there's deep liquidity managed by Circle to make sure this Paymaster is operating at its highest efficiency. And so this is kind of a illustration of how it works, where the user initiates a USDC transaction, and what happens from there is the Paymaster, checks to see if the end user has enough, funds in their wallet to be able to cover the transaction, and if it does, then money is routed to a bundler. And our Paymaster works for third-party bundlers to handle the batching of the structure of the transaction, and then pass through the Paymaster. And that Paymaster covers the blockchain fees, and then the USDC gets routed to the recipient wallet. So it makes for a really nice transaction experience for designing end-user payment experiences that are focused on USDC. Gateway is a new product, and I know we didn't have it on the platform slide that I talked about earlier. It's new, and we're going to go live with it next week. Right now it's on testnet. And so what Gateway enables is across the ecosystem, we saw that a lot of people, were frustrated with fragmented USDC balances. And so, a lot of you probably have your USDC on multiple different chains, and you want to create an experience where you could spend that, and on other chains. But what you end up having to do sometimes is like, move money from all these different chains to get to the chain you want to get to, and that's a terrible transaction experience. Takes a lot of time. You lose a lot of money on gas and things like that. And so, what Gateway is it's a on-chain utility that enables you to aggregate all of your balances across multiple different chains into a unified balance. And so how you do that is if you had USDC, say on Base, Avalanche, and Arbitrum, you could deposit those the USDC balances into a wallet contract on the respective chains. And then what it would do is it would unify that balance and give you access to instantly spend USDC on the chain of your choice. So you can like unify all those balances, spend it immediately on a destination chain, and though that spending experience or minting and then spending happens within like 500 milliseconds. So very powerful technology to create really cool experiences. I'll hurry up here because I think I only got 5 minutes, but this is kind of the flow of how this experience works. USDC is deposited, like I said, into what we call a gateway wallet contract across the different chains. And then after that, you have an API that you can call, and you get basically you get access to a unified balance that enables you to spend immediately on the destination chain of your choice, where our mentor contracts for a gateway are live. And so we see a lot of wallet providers, integrating gateway, because people have these wallets and they have USDC across all these different chains, and so a wallet provider can basically help facilitate this experience where that end user's balance is always unified through like a back end job of depositing into the gateway wallet contracts, and that person just is they're spending from a balance, but they don't care where their USDC lives at the current moment, because they have access to this unified balance to spend USDC anywhere. Yeah.
Are you depositing from each chain into the smart contract?
Yeah. So each chain has its own gateway wallet contract, and so you would just deposit in each chain.
From each chain. So I have
Yeah.
to switch chains, pause switching,
What'd you say?
I have to switch from like base deposit my USDC, sort of linear deposit my USDC.
Well, you as the end user, you wouldn't do the switching. Like you could just have like a run like a script, and it could run through an array, and it would just kind of go through each chain and deposit to the respective contracts on each chain. And then for your end user experience, they wouldn't see that or whatever. They wouldn't be switching connections or anything like that. That would happen in the background, and then they would see a unified balance where they could just spend their USDC anywhere. Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
One more question.
Yeah.
What is this gateway deposit contract? Is that something that smart contract wallet can inherit and embed inside, or is that a contract that you guys deploy?
It's a contract that Circle deploy. Yeah, Circle that we play. I'm gonna have to rush through this because I know I only have maybe like 1 minute. But we recently launched ARC. Announced, not launched yet, but recently announced ARC. It's an open L1 blockchain. It's EVM compatible. This is the blockchain that we're launching specifically for stablecoin finance. We've learned over the years a lot about payments and how to bring payments on chain at the enterprise level. And so ARC is going to be the home for stablecoin finance and businesses that actually want to bring their payments on chain, but they want to bring it on chain in a way where this blockchain is compliant, has the security features and functionality needed to support enterprise payments at scale. And so some of the primitives of this blockchain that make it unique is USDC is going to be the native gas token. So developers transacting on ARC will have predictable gas fees that are cheap, and you know exactly what your gas fees are because you don't have to deal with the native volatile token for gas. Also, we'll build in an FX engine. So, we see the future of local stablecoins being deployed on ARC, and so FX will be able to happen on chain, and it'll create more of a better experience for cross-border payments. And then instant finality. For these transactions, one of the main reasons why we decided to do an L1 is because for payments to be on chain at scale, we need to be able to give deterministic finality. And so leveraging the power of the Malachite consensus engine will give us the ability to do this and have sub 350 millisecond transactions settle final. And then opt-in privacy is another functionality. A lot of businesses want to make sure their transactions are private, so they'll have the ability to basically opt into a privacy layer of transactions to, make sure like wallet addresses and amounts are private if they want those transactions private. So very excited about this and really appreciate the time. And so last but not least, here is kind of a list of some of our developer release resources if you all want to check out some of the resources we have available. And happy to talk on the side about any of the things that we have going on here at Circle that can benefit you all as developers. So thanks.